I believe that life begins at conception. And I believe that stopping an abortion is saving a life. Saving a life is a very valid cause. But I feel humbled to sit with such incredible women with such beautiful, courageous stories and lives. I also am very aware that I'm a white woman sitting here, and that whether it's the mortality rate of pregnant women of color or the amount of abortions that affect women of color is much more than white women. And so I'm listening to that with those ears as well.
If we can all be honest and uncomfortable, the church has been either extremely insensitive, or worse, they've been awfully quiet now.
Yes.
Chelsea, why do you think that is?
I can tell you why I've been quiet. I feel very humbled. And I don't know sometimes the fine line between humbled and humiliated. I'm a person who follows the teachings of Jesus, and one of those teachings says that we weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice. And in this moment, I feel completely humbled and do not know how to follow that teaching. It just seems impossible to be able to do that in this moment. And I am embarrassed by some of the rejoicing at the cost of somebody's pain.
Chelsea, in light of all of these heartbreaking and really gut-wrenching stories, what role can and should the church play to support those now that are not empowered to make the decision?
As I think about the story of Jesus with a woman who was caught in the midst of adultery, and that's very much a woman-based story in the Bible, because she was caught in the very act. So where was the man in this story? Very similar to a woman facing an unwanted pregnancy. She just could be left alone, the same way this woman was left alone. And in this moment, Jesus didn't say anything. It's one of the beautiful silent moments of Jesus. And he just got down and wrote in the dirt. And then he's just said this incredible statement. He said, "Let him who is without sin throw the first stone." And I think as Christians, as faith leaders, as community leaders, we need to be really in touch with our own shortcomings and our own weaknesses so that we aren't prone to just chucking those stones because it feels good.
Multiple things can be true. You can hold space for a lot of different things. You can love God, you can be a member of your church, you can choose to have an abortion, and you can still be a good person, all at the same time, and a multitude of other things all at once.
So Chelsea, so many Christians look to a passage of scripture which says you were knit in your mother's womb, and they stand on that and say abortion is wrong. How can a Christian or somebody who identifies and lives their life by biblical text simultaneously read that passage but still empathize with women that are hurting or that have hurt?
I have so much empathy and understanding for followers of Jesus who would say, I believe that life begins at conception. And I believe that stopping an abortion is saving a life. Saving a life is a very valid cause. But that's not the only life that we're called to save. If you're pro-life, there's a lot of life. It's also taking one verse and making that one verse, Psalm 139, making that as black and white as the verses of the forgiveness and love of Jesus Christ. It's one verse versus thousands and thousands of verses that are in the Bible. And we have a conviction is when we look at the Bible is we put the emphasis where God puts the emphasis. And he puts the emphasis on love. He puts the emphasis on forgiveness. He puts the emphasis on compassion. And so as a follower of Jesus, wouldn't I put the emphasis there?